imagine Mrs. Medlock. She's coming all the way from India.
You talk too much, Martha.
Sorry, Mrs. Medlock. That's what Mum says. I talk too much.
Staff, I do not wish to repeat myself, so pay strict attention.
Yes, Mrs. Medlock.
As you know, a young lady is coming to stay here at Misselthwaite Manor, Mary Lennox.
Ah, the master's young niece.
She is no one else in the world.
Poor child. Her parents took off with the cholera in a far-off land.
What's cholera?
You don't want to know, lassie.
Yes, I do.
It's like a terrible fever. Only worse.
Never mind that. There's been no mention of, well, you know who. Mr. Craven's orders. Do you understand?
Yes, Mrs. Medlock.
She's here! She's here! Answer the door!
You'll do no such thing. You forget yourself, Martha.
Sorry, Mrs. Medlock.
John,
Yes, Mrs. Medlock.
the door.
Right here, Mrs. Medlock. The door.
Mind your manners, chin up. The rest of you come back to your duties. There's more enough work to be done around here, I'm sure.
Ah, Mrs. Medlock. You are Mrs. Medlock?
I am, and you are Mr. Crawford.
Quite so.
It was most kind of you to escort Miss Lennox from India.
What choice did I have? The outbreak of cholera was devastating. I should like to speak with Mr. Craven.
I'm afraid that's not possible. He's in poor health, never receives.
How inconvenient. Well, this is Mary Lennox.
What? Her?
Mommy.
No, this is my servant.
Can't she?
I never go anywhere without her. I find her indispensable. I thought the girl was with you, can't she?
She must have slipped away.
Gracious, you haven't lost the child.
Don't be absurd. She was with us when we came into the house. But the girl has proven a trial. She's stubborn,
Obstinate.
contrary.
Willful.
All your letters said was moody.
She's that too.
I hope she won't prove troublesome. I have no time for tantrums and such. Every ounce of my energy goes into running this large house. It's no easy task.
I'm sure. Better see if you can find the girl, can't you?
Yes, Lee. Here she is now.
Where were you, Mary?
I wanted to look about. It's a gloomy sort of place. I doubt if I should be happy here. Best not get my hopes up.
Goodness, she talks like a good little old lady. Give yourself time, child. You'll soon make friends.
I don't think so. People never like me. I don't like people. I never have any friends.
See what I mean?
Yes, I do indeed. My word, she's a plain piece of goods. We heard her mother was a great beauty. They've possibly put down. It seems thin to me. Too pale.
Perhaps she will improve as she grows older, like a late blooming flower.
There's nothing likely to improve children here at Misselthwaite Manor. She could do with a nicer expression.
Go on, talk about me as if I weren't here. Why should I care? I'm only Mary Lennox, who might improve as she grows older. Then again, she might not.
Gracious, she doesn't hold her tongue, does she?
She's obstinate.
I've never seen such a contrary child.
The master will not put up with her willfulness.
She's as spoiled as they come.
I cannot imagine why her parents let her be so very rude and difficult.
I'm only a small and innocent child. I just prefer to get my own way.
I don't know how you'll be able to tame the likes of her.
Crossing from India, I'd like to have lost my mind trying to figure out where she was and what she was doing.
I can well imagine. She'll have to comply with the rules of this house.
I will not.
She'll have to do as she is told.
I won't be bossed. I will get my own way.
Well, I never.
Miss Mary, are you up? Cook has prepared himself. He found a recipe to make porridge, the way they do in India.
Miss Mary?
She's not still sleeping, is she?
How should I know? I'll take that. Which one of you is Sowerby?
We are all Sowerby, Miss Mary.
Martha Sowerby.
I am Martha, Miss Mary.
And this be Jane.
Miss Mary.
Mrs. Medlock said you were to look after me. You should have been here earlier. I had to dress myself.
Can't you put on your own clothes?
You're a strange sort of servant. In India, I never had to dress myself. It's the custom. When I lived in India, Kanchi always dressed me.
That would be the foreign lady in the strange dress. The one who came with you in the carriage?
It's not a strange dress, it's a sari. It's what all Hindu women wear in India. They're very ignorant.
It's true. I'm looked after you. But I'm really not your son.
Whose servant are you? She's Mrs. Medlock's servant. And Mrs. Medlock is Mr. Craven's servant.
Does my uncle know I'm here? That he does, miss. But you need not expect to see him because 10 to 1, you won't.
He comes and goes as the mood strikes.
But I want to see him.
He rarely sees anyone.
But I'm his niece.
That's not likely to make any difference to him. Very set in his ways he is.
What is this stuff? It looks horrid.
That's Indian porridge. Cook made it special for you.
I never eat porridge. Throw it out.
Throw it out!
Oh, miss, you don't do that.
I always mean what I say.
Put a spoon of sweet syrup in it. Or a bit of sugar.
Didn't you hear what I said? I don't want it. I don't want any breakfast.
I hate to see good food go to waste.
If some children saw this tray, they'd lick it clean.
Why?
Why? Because they're hungry.
I don't know what it is to be hungry. Take it away. Besides, I don't like cocoa.
But cook put cinnamon in it.
Cinnamon only makes it worse. I hate cinnamon. Now help me with my dress. What am I to do with myself all day?
Mrs. Medlock said you're not to make a nuisance of yourself. If you're in the house, try to stay out of her way.
It's a large house. I think I'll go exploring.
Mrs. Medlock wouldn't like that. You mustn't go poking about, miss.
How many rooms?
No one knows for sure. Over 600, they say. Bosun's locked up there. Dick is in the garden. He likes company.
Who's Dickon?
Me brother. You'll like him. He knows all about making gardens of blooms. And when it comes to animals, he's the best friend they've got. Birds come to eat out of his hands. And however little there is to eat, he always saves a bit of bread that cooks his pets.
I doubt if I should like him. I'm sure he wouldn't like me.
I can't stand a chat on Miss Mary. I got my duties. Take a walk outside the house, get to know the place. That's me advice. If you get hungry, go fix you something. Martha. Yes, miss?
Last night, I heard someone crying. I'm sure of it. Did you hear someone crying?
Goodness, miss, I never hear anything at night. I'm tucked away in the attic.
I'm sure I heard someone crying.
If you say so, miss.
I know what I'll do. I'll get my sleeping robe.
That's a good idea, miss. Have yourself a full holiday.
I do wish young Dr. Craven had spoken to me. It's become a complete surprise, Miss Wiggin.
It must have slipped his mind.
Not that I'm complaining. I think a governess Miss Mary is an excellent idea. I can't very well tend to my duties and watch her as well. She's not an easy child to deal with. She's the sort of girl who gets on one's nerves.
I understand.
Books and lessons would do her some good. The girl needs discipline.
I know how to deal with problem children.
I should hope you do. However, the decision rests with the master.
Naturally.
I shall bring it up when the moment seems right.
Splendid.
Mistress Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and marigolds all in a row.
That's Miss Mary now.
Mistress Mary, quite
We don't skip rope in the house, Miss Mary. It's unattractive.
I don't see what difference it makes. I'm no good at it inside or out. Mr. Crawford gave me the skipping rope on the shipboard. He said that exercise would do me good. No one skips rope in India. It just isn't done.
Fresh air and proper exercise are essential to the learning process.
Who are you?
This is Miss Wiggin. Young Dr. Craven suggested her for the position of governess.
Who's Dr. Craven?
You seem to know very little, Miss Mary. He is your uncle's cousin.
You don't need a governess for me.
Who else, I should like to know?
I don't want a governess. I don't need a governess. I'm very intelligent for my age.
Allow me to be the judge of that, Miss Mary.
No, no, no! I won't have a governess. I won't have one.
Really?
There, what did I tell you?
Say this for her. She has a mind of her own.
More's the pity.
Medlock.
Now what?
Child didn't eat a thing for breakfast. Whoever heard of a young English lady not having a proper breakfast?
And she says she hates porridge.
She can't abide cinnamon. I won't be held responsible if the lassie turns to skin and bones.
A governess is definitely called for.
Quite.
Is she always this stubborn and contrary?
Since she's been at Mistletoe Manor, and I'm quite sure before that too.
You don't get that obstinate overnight.
Or contrary and willful.
I don't think she's eaten enough to keep a bird alive. Absolutely refuses.
And she won't go to bed when she's told either.
Here's I have my work cut out for me.
That you do, ma'am. That you do.
Mary, what are you doing?
Miss Kitchen!
Hi, Mr. Robin, I know it's you. I know you're chirping. Like to follow me about, you do. Does you fellas good to watch a lad work, eh? Well, I won't disappoint you. Now, let's see. How about I plant some Johnny Jump-Ups, some violets, some coral bells, and maybe some sweet fern.
Who are you talking with, Dickon?
Morning, Dr. Craven. He's up there. Follows me about like a stray lamb. See him?
You mean that Robin Redbreast?
Aye, he's a smart one, that little bird. He likes to chatter.
I take your word for it. No doubt you understand his peculiar language. You have a way with the creatures of the field.
Mother says it's a gift. You been to see old Ben Weatherstaff?
Yes, I have. I'm quite pleased with his progress. His broken leg is on the mend. He wants to come down. His broken leg is on the mend. He worries himself over the grounds. He wants to come down here.
He's got nothing to worry about. I've got everything under control like a good gardener's apprentice.
I'm sure you do.
I'll be to his cottage as soon as I'm done with these flowers. I'll try and cheer him up.
Excellent idea. Reassure him he's all well. That's the best medicine.
I'll do my best.
Good lad.
Someone's coming, you say?
101,
Wonder who that might be.
102, 103.
Morning, miss.
I know who you are.
Dickon Sowerby.
You're Martha's brother.
Aye.
She said you know all about plants and animals.
I do know a lot. I ain't ashamed to admit that.
Aren't you a little young to be the head gardener?
Oh, I'm not the head gardener. I only help out a few days a week. Only it's every day now that old Ben Weatherstaff is laid up with a broken leg. He ain't as young as he'd like to be.
I'm Mary Lennox.
I know who you are, miss. You've come all the way from India. I guess that means you've met all sorts of interesting creatures and such. I envy you.
One doesn't meet animals. They're just there. I suppose you mean the animals in India, elephants and the like.
I ain't never seen an elephant, except in picture books.
They can be very disagreeable, especially if they have a bad tooth.
Dickon, when you have a moment, could you come have a look at the new pony? He don't seem lively enough to me, and he's off his feed, too.
I'll come to the stable as soon as I've had a visit with old Ben. This be me sister, Philippa. She's the stable girl.
Seems to me there are lots of Sowerbys at Misselthwaite Manor.
We're a large family.
Aye.
Dickon, it's Mother.
Best get the others. She'll be wanting to see all of us.
I guess she will.
Dickon!
If it weren't for Misselthwaite Manor, I reckon us Sowerbys would go hungry many a night.
I'm hungry now. I didn't have breakfast.
Mother will have something in her basket for you. You'll see.
You do seem pleasant enough. Perhaps we could be friends. But it's doubtful. I don't have any friends.
There you are, Dickon. Didn't you hear me calling?
I was talking with Miss Mary.
The young lady from India? How nice. Welcome to Yorkshire, child. Please give me regards to your dear uncle.
She didn't have anything for breakfast.
No breakfast? You poor thing. Mustn't go without eating. Doesn't do. I've got some delicious apples and breads that I might pick, and some nice cinnamon buns I baked just this morning for Dickon and his brothers and sisters. They were raised on 'em.
I don't like cinnamon, but maybe an apple.
An apple it is. You're my pal, Miss Mary. You could do with a bit more colour in your cheeks.
Why does one section of the garden have a wall around it?
You mean over there?
Yes, I couldn't find a door.
There's a locked door somewhere. But ain't no one seen it for over 10 years. Vines and shrubs have covered it up. Ben would know where it is.
If there's a locked door, there must be a key.
The master buried the key when he closed the garden. Said no one was ever to go in there ever again.
Why?
Gracious child, didn't your uncle tell you?
I haven't met my uncle. I expect he's not too happy that I'm here. Why did he lock the door and bury the key? Tell me.
I suppose you have the right to know. There was a terrible accident. The garden was your aunt's favourite spot. She tended it all by herself. Roses mostly. She was just a bit of a girl. There was an old tree with a branch bent down like a seat. One day, while she was sitting there, the branch broke. She fell to the ground, hurt so badly that the next day she died. The doctors thought Mr. Craven would go out of his mind and die too. But he didn't. That's why he hates that walled garden and will never let anyone go in there. He left his Lilia so.
Lilius?
That was your aunt's name. There's some say she only married Archibald Craven because he was rich. Him with the crooked back and all. But I think they loved each other dearly. Now all he does is hide himself away from the world, travelling here and there to forget. Poor man.
Well, it's lonely here.
I don't see how you can say that, Miss Mary. You haven't been here very long.
It doesn't matter. I'm lonely no matter where I am. I expect I always will be.
Goodness, child. That's no way to look at things.
Mother?
It's Jane.
Mother!
That's Martha.
What's in the basket? Cinnamon buns, I'll make.
Better not let Mrs. Medlock catch us. Leave the apples. I'm going to take them home with me and bake some tasty pies. And then stop by to visit with old Ben. Poor Carja. Her burger and leg ain't no blessing.
Do you mean to say that all these servants are your children, Mrs. Sowerby?
They're me children all, yes. Of course, they belong to Mr. Sowerby too. May he rest in heaven.
How curious. I expect I'll spend my days wondering about being lonely and bored.
Rubbish, child. I know what you must do. You must get yourself a bit of ground and grow a garden. It'll do you wonders.
You won't be lonely then, miss. You'll see.
I don't know anything about gardens.
Let Dickon be your teacher, miss. He'll be like a brother to you.
I've never had any brothers or sisters.
I've got 11.
I know what we'll do, Miss Mary. That is, if you'd like. I don't mean to presume.
What?
We'll make you an honorary member of the Sowerby family.
Would you like that, Miss Mary?
It's a curious idea. But yes, I think I would like that. Thank you. Welcome to the family, Miss Mary!
Welcome to the family.
There are so many of you. How does it work?
Oh, Mary, family is a sacred thing. It's something to cherish.
We all work together to make sure things get done.
We're one big happy family. We love each other and take care of each other. Can you understand that?
I have lots of people that take care of me, but they don't make me happy.
That's because they're not your family.
My family is...
Oh, Mary, we didn't mean to upset you. There's so many of us, yet we always have room in our hearts for one more. A family is people that care about you, really care about each other.
I don't know what to say.
Say you'll be our sister.
All right, I'll be your sister.
If you ask me, he doesn't wish to get well. If you say so, Ness. I have my orders. I do as I'm told. You know your place, as I do. Ours is not to question. If only he wouldn't cry so much, and that temper. I believe it's because he's unhappy. And spoiled. Oh, I said too much. I would never betray confidence. Thank you, Mrs. Medlock. You're welcome, I'm sure.
You wanted to see me, Mrs. Medlock.
Ah, Miss Mary, it's your uncle. He wants to see you before he leaves.
Is he going somewhere?
Isn't he always? Travel to foreign places. Somehow it doesn't seem natural.
Should I brush my hair or put on a new dress?
There isn't time. He wishes to see you at once. He'll be gone within the hour. That's how he is. Come along.
But what should I say to him?
How should I know?
What if he doesn't like me?
That's your affair. sir. You can go, Mrs. Medlock. Wait outside. I'll call when I want you to take her away.
Very good, sir.
Step closer, child. Are you well?
Yes.
I will be gone for quite some time. You will be left to your own whims. Consequently, I am thinking of employing a governess for you.
Oh, don't make me have a governess.
As Mrs. Sowerby said, she's quite fond of you, you know. Do you like Mrs. Sowerby?
Yes, I do very much.
She knows about young people. She has 12 of her own. Many of them are in service here at Thistlecliff.
Yes, I know.
She thought you should get stronger before you have a governess. Seems to think that you don't eat enough. Are you afraid of me?
I'm generally not afraid of people I never get to see.
I suppose you've heard I'm a hunchback. I'm not. My back isn't very straight, that's all. I'm afraid I know nothing of children. Legally, I am your guardian, though I am a poor one for any child. I can give you neither time nor attention. I'm too ill and wretched and distracted. I sent for you today because Mrs. Sowerby said I ought to see you. I'm fond of Mrs. Sowerby. She's kind and respectable, and I listen to her advice. I don't know when I shall see you again, if ever. But I do wish for you to be happy and comfortable. Stay out of doors as much as you can. Mrs. Sowerby says it would do you good. Do you want anything? Dolls, toys, books?
Might I
Speak up, child. What is it you want?
have a bit of earth
Earth. What do you mean?
to plant seeds in, to make things grow, to see them come alive?
No doubt you've been talking to that boy Dickon. You may have as much earth as you want.
What's the matter, Uncle? The way of staring at me.
You remind me of someone else. Someone who loved the earth and things that grow. When you see a bit of earth you want, take it, child, and make it come alive for you.
May I take it from anywhere, if it's not wanted?
But why not? Anywhere, if that is your wish. There's a county fair in the village next week. You might like that. I haven't been in over 10 years. I used to enjoy it. Mrs. Sowerby came and asked that I give you permission to visit her cottage whenever you wish. I give my consent.
Thank you, sir.
Mrs. Sowerby and Mrs. Medlock went to school together a long time ago. Mrs. Medlock,
Yes, sir.
now that I have seen the child, I agree with Mrs. Sowerby.
You mean she's not to have a governess?
Not yet, anyway. Give her simple, healthy food. And let her run wild outside. Don't look after her too much. The girl needs liberty, fresh air, and romping about.
Uncle said I might have a garden.
It's fine by me, I'm sure. It'll keep you out of the house. Goodbye, Marilyn.
He really is a nice man.
If you say so, Miss Mary. Come along. You heard the master. You don't look after yourself. And when you're in the house, don't go wandering and poking about. It's unattractive.
I heard someone crying again last night.
Don't talk rubbish.
Martha, wait till you hear.
You seem happy enough, miss. I just met my uncle. Good for you, miss. I was afraid he, without saying so much as a hello to you.
He said I can do whatever I want and I can have a garden.
It can be a big help there.
He said I can visit your mother's cottage whenever I wish.
Mother will be pleased. She's taken a real liking to you.
I heard it again last night.
Huh? What?
Mrs. Medlock said I was talking rubbish, but I know what I heard, and I know where it's coming from.
You don't mean for crying.
Of course.
Oh, miss, don't go poking about. It would only upset things.
Who is it that cries? You know, don't you?
Yes, I know. not allowed to talk about it. None of us are. It's one of the master's rules. I could lose my position. Don't ask any more questions. Please.
Why is it such a big mystery? I know what I must do. I must go poking about. But first, I must have a word with Mrs. Sowerby. I don't want it! I won't take it! No, no, no!
But Master Colin, you must.
No, no, no!
Now look what you've done.
Serves you right. It's all your fault.
Medicine all over the floor. I intend to tell Dr. Craven about this.
Tell him anything you like. What do I care?
You know you mustn't excite yourself.
Then stop giving me medicine I don't want. You're supposed to humor me. You're supposed to do everything I say.
You need to get back in bed.
I wish to be left alone.
At once.
No, no, no! Get out! Get out!
Please, Master Colin.
I'll scream till I wake the whole household. You know I'm capable of that. Get out!
Very well. I'm leaving. Calm down.
Good. Who are you? Are you a ghost?
I'm not.
I'm Colin Craven.
I'm Mary Lennox. Mr. Craven is my uncle.
He is my father. I suppose we're cousins then.
I suppose we must be. Mrs. Sowerby told me about you only this afternoon. Your great mystery. If it weren't for Mrs. Sowerby, I know very little about Misselthwaite Manor.
My father won't let people talk about me. The servants are forbidden to.
Why?
If I live, I may be a hunchback instead of just an invalid. My father hates to think I may be like him.
Is that why I hear you crying?
Yes, I cry because it makes my father wretched to look at me. You sure you're not a ghost?
I ought to know whether I'm a ghost or not.
My dreams are very real. Sometimes when I open my eyes, I don't believe I'm awake.
I'll prove it to you.
Out!
There, you're awake.
How dare you touch me? I don't allow anyone to touch me except the doctor!
There's no need to be so unpleasant.
Don't pinch me again. You here on a visit?
No, I live here now. My parents died in India. There was an outbreak of cholera.
No one told me a word about it. You miss your parents.
I can't remember much about them. Servants raised me. Father was always away on military manoeuvres, and Mother was always busy getting ready to attend parties. She was a great beauty. I'm nothing like her. I expect she found me something of a nuisance.
You must come and visit me every day and tell me all about India. I have books to read, of course, but I get bored with books. When you were in India, did you ever step on a cobra?
Well, I should say not. I've always been here.
Yes. I used to wear an iron brace to keep my back straight, but a specialist came from London to see me and told my father to take it off. It was stupid, he said. He said I was to stay out in the fresh air as much as possible. I hate fresh air. I hate sunshine. Bet you don't know how old I am.
10.
How do you know that?
Mrs. Sowerby told me that when you were born, the garden door was locked and the key was buried. And Dickon told me that the garden has been locked for 10 years.
What garden door was locked? Who did it? Where was the key buried?
Your father hates that garden. He was the one who locked the door and buried the key.
You do realize that because I'm going to die, everyone is obliged to please me. I want to know more about this garden. You must tell me.
I intend to reclaim that garden. Your father said I might have any bit of earth I wanted. Do you really think you won't live?
I've heard people say I won't.
Do you want to live?
No. But I don't want to die. When I feel ill, I lie in bed and think about it until I cry and cry. My doctor is my father's cousin. He is quite poor and he will have all Misselthwaite if I die and my father passes on. I should think he wouldn't want me to live. I want to see the garden. I want the key dug up. I want the door unlocked. I could go there in my chair. That would be getting fresh air. I'm going to make them open the door.
Oh no,
Why not?
because I want it to be a secret garden. You see, if no one knows about it but ourselves, it'd be so much nicer. It would be special. If it was a secret garden, we could get into it whenever we wanted and watch the flowers grow big every day. No one would ever know we were there.
I've never had a secret before, except the one about me
not living to grow up. They don't think I know that, so it's sort of secret. But I like this kind better. You and I will be the only ones to know about the garden.
Well, Dickon will have to know. He's, I'm sure, going to keep it secret.
The boy who works for Ben Weatherstaff.
He's a wonderful gardener. He knows all about birds and animals. He can talk to them. Garden will be a lot of work, and I'll have a great deal to learn. But there is one problem.
What?
Well, we'll have to find the key. But the door should be easy enough. It's hidden somewhere behind the overgrown vines.
What is the meaning of this, Colin? Nurse tells me you threw your medicine on the ground and refused to get into bed.
Get out! Get out! I don't want you here! Can't you see I'm a visitor?
How did you get in here?
Young lady, this is hardly the hour for visiting. Master Colin is unwell, and he needs to remain quiet, so I must ask you to leave.
No! I want her to stay!
That's out of the question, Colin. Don't excite yourself. Nurse, see that he gets into bed.
No!
I'll prepare the sedative.
No! I'll yell and holler! I don't want to sleep! I want Mary to stay!
He certainly has a temper.
I hope you're satisfied, miss.
I didn't mean any harm.
Stay out of these rooms in the future. Understand?
This is certainly the most curious house I've ever been in.
I'm so excited.
Isn't it wonderful, Dickon? The county fair. You are coming. You must.
There's a lot to do here,
You can't be working all the time.
and I don't mind. As long as I'm able to be out in the open, I don't even think of it as work.
Everybody's coming to the fair, even Mrs. Medlock. It's the one day a year she seems almost human. Cook says we better be grateful for small favors.
I've got enough flowers for everybody. I've even got crocuses, snowdrops, and even daffodils.
I'll go and hurry them along.
Martha says that people bring flowers to the fair. Why?
Can't rightly answer that, Miss Mary. Just the way it's always been going back hundreds of years, maybe more. When you go to the fair, you take a flower, and it's supposed to bring you luck.
What a curious idea. Oh, you'll never guess where I've been.
Speaking of Master Colin again,
I did see him again today. I've seen him every day since I first learned about him last week. The nurse knows when I come to visit, but she doesn't tell the doctor. But what I wanted to tell you is I met Ben Weatherstaff, and he told me where the door ought to be.
did he tell you where to find the key?
He didn't know that. Colin will be so disappointed.
He's up there. See him?
But Robin,
He's trying to tell us something. Can't make it out.
I think he wants us to follow him.
That he does, miss. But I can't leave these flowers. I won't have people pawing at them.
He's flying away.
You go, miss. I'll be along as soon as I finish the flowers.
Don't be long.
It's a beautiful day for the fair. It is. Must be the biggest day. Have you entered your prize-winning plum jam again? 5th year in a row, right?
Prize jam, is that the blueberry one?
No, it's a blackberry.
Oh, the
Oh,
blackberry.
I think this one's especially beautiful.
The cheese.
And here's one of my
We mustn't
favorite
forget the
flowers.
cheese.
Perhaps everyone would like to take a flower to the fair. Flowers for the fair. Flowers for the fair.
Say, why do you have
Ladies,
to wear that hat
arrive at the
today?
fair with a flare. Put a flower in your hair.
Hear about it.
You mum?
The cheese wheel.
How about you, sir?
You know, yes, it's from Germany.
I think a flower looks lovely in that new hat, sir.
Sherman.
Take it away.
Did I forget to mention, ladies and gentlemen, that these flowers are absolutely free?
If you insist.
Only one, sir.
We'll be waiting for you, Dickon. Don't be too long. Don't forget to bring along Miss Mary.
I won't. Pa! Now, think I'll plant what's left by old Ben. He's like that. So look out his window and there they'll be.
Dickon! Dickon!
soon as I finish these flowers, we can be off to the fair.
No, you don't understand. The robin.
What?
He flew down to the earth and began to peck at the soil with his beak. He was almost in a fury.
That's nothing to fret about, miss. He's probably just building the nest, looking for nice twigs and blades of grass. Birds like their comfort.
It wasn't that kind of digging. He kept chirping and looking at me. Finally, I understood what he wanted.
What?
He wanted me to dig right in that spot, so I did. And I found something.
Well, what do you make of that? It's the key the master buried all them years back, I'll reckon.
It has to be.
What are you going to do?
What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to open the secret garden.
Ain't no one been in there for over 10 years. No telling what you'll find.
I'm not afraid. Are you?
Nah.
Then come on, Dickon.
There's a secret garden. It's always a room. There are memories and miracles in a secret garden of life.
We'll have a very brief 10-minute.
Can we open that door? How can they change it?
I can't deny that the girl does seem to work some magic on Master Colin.
His candles aren't nearly as liquid, and his breathing seems better.
Yes, well, there's always the danger of relapse. We mustn't forget what Master Colin has been through. Those weak legs, rheumatic fever, coughs and colds that have nearly killed him. Even a touch of typhoid.
He hasn't cried in weeks.
I get quite tired of telling you stories about India. Besides, you mustn't neglect the garden.
You have a garden, Miss Mary.
Oh, it's not really a garden. A piece of earth, that's all it is. My uncle said I might have it.
And when was this?
Some months ago before he went abroad.
And what is on this piece of earth?
Only things Dickon Sowerby recommends.
Good lad, that Dickon.
Things are showing there are purple crocuses and gold ones, and the leaves are starting to break out and curl.
I plan to visit that piece of earth soon.
Now, Master Colin. I'm impressed with your progress, but we needn't to rush anything. Besides, I'm going to visit Ben Weatherstaff. His broken leg isn't as good as I thought it was. He may need to go to the hospital. Nurse, keep up with the medication for me.
Yes, Dr. Craven.
Does Dr. Craven ever smile? Is that a funny question?
No, miss. The book is the last 5 years.
I suppose I have changed a great deal. Still, it's nothing to laugh about.
Is she really that?
I want you to stay with me all afternoon.
Don't be silly. I have a great many things to attend to. Besides, you must visit them.
You have to do what I say. Everybody does.
That again. You're like a young Raja in India, sitting on a silken pillow, always insisting on your own way. Well, I won't give in to you, not this time.
You will stay.
I won't. Well, won't. If you don't stay, I'll work myself into a tantrum. Go ahead, you're so spoiled. How dare you speak to me like that? How dare you? I'm going to the garden, and I'm leaving you here. If you go without me, I'll scream and yell. See if I can. Besides, I can scream and yell louder than you. You can't! I can't! Can't! Ah! There, how do you like it?
Now what's all this?
I won't be ordered back by Colin. I'm his friend and I'm his servant. She's cruel, nurse, that's what she is, cruel! So says the young Raja. Ow! What now? The lump on my back! It's growing! No, it isn't. You just want attention. And if there was a lump, it was only a hysterical lump. Hysteria makes lumps. There's nothing the matter with your back. There is! There is! Nurse, show me his back this minute.
Perhaps he won't let me.
Go on, show her! She'll see then, she'll be sorry, she'll apologize. Satisfied? There isn't a single lump there. There isn't a lump the size of a pin. Except for backbone lumps, and you can only feel them because you're so thin. I have backbone lumps too, but they'll be gone when I'm fatter. It'll be the same with you.
I didn't know he thought he had a lump. I could have told him there was no lump.
Do you think I could live to grow up?
Perhaps. If you do as you're told and don't give in to your temper.
Mary,
Yes, Raja.
I'd like to be outside with you and Dickon.
Dickon found a big box, and a crow's come to visit.
I want to know more about the garden.
It was left alone for so long that the roses have climbed and climbed and climbed. And until they hang from the branches and trees.
I'm afraid I can't be too encouraging, Miss Wiggins. Since I was in the vicinity, I thought I might as well stop by. I was hoping for a word at last with Archibald Craven. I heard he was back.
In England, you mean? Yes, London. He's staying at the Empress Hotel. It's a fashionable place. Not that Mr. Craven would notice. I suppose he's sitting in some large chair in the lobby, surrounded by demon wood.
And you say he expressly stated Miss Mary was not to have a governess.
For the time being. I must say the child has improved. She no longer skulks and pouts. And last I saw her, I thought she actually pretty, like a wildflower. Mrs. Sowerby, the neighbor woman, attributed to garden work.
Garden work.
You know, planting, weeding, picking away bugs. Miss Mary gave me these. Aren't they choice?
Beautiful. Is Dr. Craven about?
Of course, he rarely ever leaves these days.
The position of governess is not available. I'm afraid I'll have to look elsewhere. I've already wasted too much time thinking about Misselthwaite Manor. You might tell Mr. Craven when he returns that a wildflower very frequently is mistaken for a weed.
That I will.
Nice bit of sun will do you good, Master Colin. It's a real pleasure to see you up and about.
You sound like the doctor.
Dr. Craven?
Miss Mary's my doctor.
Shall I try to find her? She must be somewhere about.
No, she knows I'll be waiting here, same as yesterday. I don't need you. I don't want you here, do you understand? When it's time for me to return, Dickon and Mary will help me.
Very good, sir.
Hello to you too, Mr. Robin. Fine day.
There you are, Colin. You looked feverish a while ago.
Nurse made me take a bowl of hot soup. Said I couldn't go out until I did.
Who fetched you here?
Same as yesterday, your brother, the footman.
John.
I sent him back. I don't want to take chances. No one must know about our secret.
Come on, Colin. There's a lot of work to be done. Every day, a new day.
Let's see how the things we planted yesterday are coming.
Plants can't grow that fast, Master Colin, not even when you want them to.
Even I know that.
Help me. Careful.
Easy does it.
That was much better than yesterday.
You've been practicing those back exercises I taught you.
Yes, but I never tell the doctor. He might not approve.
I have 6 packets of new seed in my apron pocket. We can plant them today.
I never realized the outdoors could be so much fun.
It's much nicer than staying in a stuffy room.
Mary, Dickon,
Yes?
I want to show you something. I haven't looked at it in a long, long time.
It's a cameo brooch. I've never seen one so lovely. Look, Dickon.
It's lovely for sure. Who's that beautiful lady painted on it?
My mother. For a long time I didn't want to be reminded of her. I was angry with her because she died and left me alone.
Are you still angry with her?
No. But I wish I could have known her. I wish she could have known me. I like to think she's looking down from heaven and seeing her son here in the secret garden.
I imagine she is.
Smiling every day because you're getting stronger and stronger.
You have to believe in things, Colin. Real hard. If you believe in them hard enough, sometimes they come true. It's a kind of magic.
Like taking flowers to the fair. But you've got to believe, otherwise it won't work.
Here are the seeds.
It's a beautiful day.
Aye.
Mistress Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow?
With silver bells and cockle shells and marigolds all in a row.
Nurse, why is Master Colin not in his room?
John took him out for some fresh air.
What? He can't all of a sudden be up and about like this. We can't take any chances with the boy's health.
He seems to be doing better. You said so yourself.
And I also said we needn't to rush anything. Nurse, see that he gets his rest.
Yes, Doctor.
I don't understand it myself, but I must admit, it's something of a miracle.
Why, just yesterday he managed to make a joke.
This morning, while I was standing at his bedside, he slapped me on the derriere!
Master Colin does have a bit of color in his cheeks, and I hear some nerve as well.
I've even seen him smile once or twice.
I give most of the credit to Miss Mary.
Down by the stable, I saw him feed a carrot to a pony.
He'd never. Come to think of it, he has been eating much better himself.
And when I lifted him from his bed and put him in his chair, I could tell he's gained a pound or two.
He doesn't seem as tired or angry.
All I know is that something is happening to Master Colin. I wonder what could be the sudden cure.
Do you know what I'd like to be when I'm pretty grown?
Master of Misselthwaite Manor?
Besides that, I mean,
What?
a scientist. I intend to be a scientist. I intend to be the greatest scientist the world has ever known.
I expect I'll be right here doing what I'm doing now. Except I should pay more attention to vegetables, cabbages and potatoes and carrots.
Why? Flowers are much nicer to look at.
That's true, but most people don't like to eat flowers. English people anyways.
Wouldn't my father be surprised if he knew I were here, feeling ever so much stronger?
You should have Dr. Craven write to him.
No, no. I don't want anyone to tell my father. I want it to come as a surprise.
As soon as we finish up here, Mary and me can show you where the hedgehogs are living. They move around quite a bit, you know.
I've never seen a real hedgehog before.
You'll smile when you see them. Funny little creatures they are.
I never thought I'd live to see the day.
Hi, Mother.
Master Colin, do you remember me, lad?
Of course I remember you, Mrs. Sowerby. I met you a few years ago when I was still feeling well enough to go to the fair. I didn't like it there. People stared at me. It was because of my wheelchair. But Mary, this was our secret. Yours, Dickens, and mine. Mrs. Sowerby's different. She's one of us. You don't really mind, do you? I suppose not, seeing as though she's Dickens' mother and you told me so many nice things about her. I told you it'd be a surprise.
It's more wonderful than any surprise I could have imagined. And the garden has come back to life.
That's Mary's doing mostly. She found the key and opened the door.
I haven't been here for a long, long time. It used to be such a happy place. Oh, the memories. Oh,
What's wrong, Mrs. Sowerby?
your mother's in the garden. I can feel it. She's here. She couldn't keep out of it.
Well, if she's here, she's going to like this. Here's the real surprise, Mrs. Sowerby.
What?
Go on, Master Colin. Show me, Mother.
Show me what? Mercy, Dickon, help the boy, he'll fall.
No, Mother. He's got to help himself.
Careful, Colin. You'll fall.
Go on, Colin. Walk.
What are you saying, girl? Walk.
Just one small step. Just one small step, and you'll be free of your chair, and free to run and play. I can do it. Come on, Colin, you can do it. Watch me. I'll do it.
Don't be afraid of stumbling. Everybody does.
Come on, I know you can do it. I'm doing it. I'm walking. Come on, you're walking. I'm not just going to walk. I'm going to run. I knew you could do it. I'm not just going to run. I'm going to fly.
I wouldn't have believed it unless I saw it with my own two eyes. It's true. Your mother's in the garden.
I shall get well. I shall get well. Mary Dickon, Mrs. Sowerby, I shall get well, and I shall live forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
What time did the teller say my suit would be ready?
Noontime tomorrow, Mr. Crawford.
Are you going to pick it up?
I told them to deliver it here soon.
Thank you, Conchi.
Mr. Craven, Mr. Archibald Craven of Mr. White Manor, Yorkshire.
Did you hear that, Conchi?
Sir. Thank you, sir.
He didn't even look at his letter.
He does seem sad.
From all I've heard, he's perpetually tired, terribly depressed.
He does seem sad. Tired. Perhaps you should introduce yourself.
Not likely. Doesn't pay to know such a gloomy man.
So still. Perhaps he's dreaming.
Dream on, Mr. Craven. Come along, Conchi. We have more important things to attend to. Time for tea.
Archie! Archie! Come into the garden, Archie. Feel the sun. Look at the roses. Please come to the garden. It's been a long time since you've been here. I miss you. Those rose trees we planted long ago, they're growing again. Remember how we were afraid they might be stunted? That family of robins, how they chatter and chirp. Our garden is a wonderful garden, isn't it? We will always be so happy here. You mustn't be sad.
Lilies.
Of course, dear, it's Lilius. I'm here. I'm always close. Where would you expect me to be?
Where?
In the garden, Archie. I'm in the garden. Our garden.
Lilius. It was a dream. I was dreaming. Oh, my letter. This is Susan Sowerby. How odd. Dear sir, I trust that you will not think me forward, but as you have been kind to me and mine in the past, I feel I could take the liberty. You will recall, sir, we once spoke of young Miss Mary and how a governess might not be needed. She has come along so nicely, she has. But sir, please sir, I would come home if I were you. I think you would be glad, and if you'll excuse me, sir, I think your lovely young wife would ask you if she were here. Your obedient servant, Susan Sowerby. Am I still dreaming? I must go back to Misselthwaite. I'll find that key. I'll open that drawer. I'll go at once.
Oh, he might have written. Sent word.
When did he arrive?
Just moments ago. Not even time to dust out his rooms.
Did he say anything?
Did he ever? He went on about how he's going to open up the walled garden. No one's been in there for over 10 years.
Where's the master now?
In the garden, I can imagine. If only he can remember where he buried the key. He didn't even ask about Miss Mary or Master Colin. Just in the door long enough to announce his presence.
Is he gone mad?
In his state, I'd best find him. He might fall and hit his head, or attack somebody.
I'll come with you. Poor man, still eating with grief.
Are you sure it was the ass carriage?
I'm sure. And it was my uncle who got out.
This will be a surprise for Colin.
It was your mother who wrote.
Out of the goodness of her heart, you can be sure.
I hope it will anger Colin.
We'll have to wait and see.
What's wrong with you, Cousin Archie? You seem possessed.
Call it what you will. What are you two doing in this garden? Who dared to open this door?
I did, Uncle. You said I might have any bit of earth I wanted, and to make it come alive.
I never dreamed that you would pick this place.
How did you find the key?
A robin showed me where I was buried.
Robin.
Fanciful, I'd say.
Oh, no, sir. There's genuine magic here. I feel it all the time.
I'm going back to the house. I wish to see my son.
There's no need to go back to the house for that, sir.
And how is that?
See for yourself.
Is this more of a dream?
Colin, where's your wheelchair?
It's him, sir. It's your son. That's why I wanted you to come home. A boy needs his father.
It's Master Colin, no doubt about it.
This is true. You look so different out of your wheelchair.
I'm Colin. You can believe it, Father.
You're so strong. You're so tall. You look so much like your mother.
It was the garden that did it. And Mary and Dickon.
Where you tend the rose, sir, the thistle cannot grow.
Oh, Colin, all these years I've forgotten how to live. Forgotten how to love.
Don't be afraid of stumbling, sir. Everybody does.
You've got a lifetime left to give your son.
Can you ever forgive me?
I forgive you, Father.
I won't hide myself away in that dingy flat in London any longer. My days of running away are over.
Now, Archibald, we mustn't be too hasty. I should give Colin a thorough examination to make sure his alleged recovery isn't merely just a case of rallying before a rapid decline.
Cousin, I think you've done enough already. I believe your services as a physician will no longer be required. And since I will be home to run the estate from now on, might I recommend that you move to London and take up residence in my old flat there?
But,
I insist.
very well.
And as for you, son, we'll begin again together, shall we?
We'll always be...
We will always be together. Come back to the house with me. I want to know everything.
I suppose the garden doesn't have to be a secret anymore.
Cousin, fetch the wheelchair back from the house, will you? I'm going to take a stroll with my son.
I'm never getting into that chair again.
I'll get the
We'll walk to
wheelchair
house,
for you,
Father. Together.
just in case you start to collapse.
Oh, how funny.
There's a secret garden that's locked far away. There are memories and miracles in the secret garden of mine. There are memories and miracles ever so fine in the secret garden of mine.
Philippa Faith Krager. Cook Aaron Kazee. Jane Claire McCandless. Mrs. Sowerby and Conchi Elizabeth Babcock. Martha Alice Peterson. Nurse Caitlin Babcock. Dr. Craven and fairgoer Toby Duran. Mrs. Medlock and fairgoer Lily Peterson. Archibald Craven, Miss Wiggin, and fairgoer Olivia Blankenship. Dickon and Mr. Crawford Thomas Sage. Colin, Lilius, and fairgoer Eliana Blankenship. And Mary Lennox, Alyssa Babcock. This is, for January, we have a couple seniors, which is bittersweet. So we have Thomas, Eliana, and Alyssa are our seniors this year. We will have them for another play as students in May. But after that, if they choose to come back, they will come back as alumni. It has been wonderful to watch you three grow and everything that you've done. Thomas, we have had you in these plays since you were Too tiny. maybe 3 years old. So it has been a blessing, and we have loved working with you, and you bless us every time we see you. So big hand for our seniors, please. Thank you all so much. Please join us downstairs for ice cream. We would love to have you. Cast, if you would please stay in your costumes and on stage for a cast picture, and then for pictures as your parents request them. So thank you so much. But everyone else, please enjoy the rest of your evening. Safe travels home.